Also on Capitol Hill, the U.S. still barreling towards a federal government shutdown as lawmakers struggle to reach a deal on a spending bill. Despite all the pressure, Speaker McCarthy had a kind of an optimistic tone just this morning.
I know Sunday's football day. If people have this type of attitude, they'd quit in the third quarter. One thing, if I hope you realize about me, is I never give up. And you know what? If we have to play into overtime to get it right, I will do just that.
Joining us now with more is NBC News senior national political reporter Sahil Kapoor. Sahil, good morning. What do the next 48 hours look like for lawmakers there on Capitol Hill?
Hey, Jose. Well, that sounds more like a tactical optimism from Speaker McCarthy than anything reflecting the dynamic on Capitol Hill, which is bleak at the moment, where a shutdown is concerned. The two chambers are moving on opposite tracks. They're moving in different directions, I should say, with just 2 days to go before the deadline. The Senate is later this hour continuing to vote on a bipartisan bill that keeps the government open through November 17th. It includes some additional assistance to Ukraine and disaster relief funding. They're hoping to wrap that up quickly, but if they have to go through all the procedural motions, it could take till Sunday or Monday after the deadline just to pass the Senate bill. And in the House, the situation is not looking good either. McCarthy is passing Republican-only appropriation bills on a party line vote that reflect his party's priorities on spending cuts and various conservative policies that have no chance of becoming law. And meanwhile, you have President Biden, who's now getting more involved here, trying to put the heat on House Republicans. Let's show a tweet that the president put out just this morning. He talked about a deal that he reached with Speaker McCarthy earlier on this year. That was a 2-year budget deal as part of a debt limit agreement, and he accuses Republicans of reneging on it. Says, quote, there's a group of extreme House Republicans who would rather shut down the government than live up to the deal. He is talking about the fact that McCarthy's appropriations bills spend less than that deal, which is one of the reasons the two chambers are at loggerheads. They haven't even begun negotiations to try to resolve this. McCarthy, for his part, does want to pass a short-term funding bill to keep the government open. He has argued privately and publicly, I should say, against a shutdown, but he doesn't have the votes in his conference to pass a short-term bill of any kind, even if they load it up with conservative provisions that won't pass the Senate. And some of his antagonists are saying that if he passes a bill with Democratic support, which might be inevitable, they will call a motion to overthrow him as Speaker of the House. It's a very challenging situation here for Speaker McCarthy. Highly unclear he gets out of it, even less clear he can get out of it before the Saturday midnight deadline. It looks, Jose, like his hardliners are going to have to touch the stove, have a shutdown, see how painful it is before we can figure out what's next.
Sahil Kapoor on Capitol Hill, thank you so very much. It's good seeing you.